Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the grumpy old git in the corner. Where you going then, cat? On a overcast and damp Tuesday again. There is a bit of rain out there. But today, well, it was Roland's turn on the COVID 2.0 inquiry yesterday, wasn't it? And again, another unconvincing apology from one of the ones that was involved in it all. Just like Bojo, not one bit of remorse. You know, his arrogance was absolutely blinding in his interviews yesterday. None of it was his fault, obviously. The rest of them wouldn't do what he wanted them to do, so it was all their fault. But there again, when they did do what he wanted, they ballsed it up, didn't they? You know, like the Eat Out scheme. I mean, that was a big mess. But every decision that he made and everything he tried to do was money. It wasn't about the loss of lives, it wasn't about people getting ill. All he was concerned about was money. That's all he's ever concerned about. But again, it did show how corrupt they are, didn't it? I mean, still these missing phones, hundreds of missing messages and WhatsApp messages. I mean, this has gone on for several years now. But yeah, there is a big smell around this. I mean, there's several channels, people been arrested and prosecuted for messages that were several years old, that were deleted several years ago. How did they get hold of them? Surely with today's tech and at the level of this inquiry, how did they not find these messages? That's what I want to know. Now, I've said before that the financial dealings in and around all this should be looked into. Especially as it was it last year or the beginning of this year, that the courts were found that there were fraudulent dealings in and around the PPE scandal. Well, they've gone one step further now. There are actually investigations going on. The NCA, that's National Crime Agency, are actually looking into the dealings of Baroness Moan and her husband around a certain PPE company. So we'll keep an eye on that one, because there was a lot of money involved. Now tonight is the vote on the immigration bill debacle that they've come up with. But I think what is decided tonight is going to be the deciding factor on the next upcoming election. The facts speak for themselves. Most MPs have seen this. The Rwanda plan is a waste of time. It's never ever going to get rid of people. As I've said all along, it's only an exchange program, and a very expensive one at that. And if this human rights changes do go through, now this has big implications on us, because if people think that they're just going to use it against illegals and immigration, you're wrong. Absolutely, you're wrong. Now, we've seen how the police love to abuse our rights. They totally ignore human rights. Now, if they get this through, is it going to look like this? where you'll have no rights and they can literally arrest you and prosecute you for nothing, for opening your mouth, writing a word. Now this is what could happen if they change all these human rights bills. And we know the law will love that. They will use that to its absolute maximum to crush the people of this country. I mean, that one is in Ireland, but how long before that gets here? Now, to finish with today, couple little short stories. I caught an interview yesterday with, who the hell was it? Grant Shapps, I think it was. And he was asked outright if Boris tried to make a return, would he support him? He said, and I quote, he couldn't because he was no longer an MP. But then the interview more or less finished when it was pointed out to him that neither was David Cameron, but you supported him coming back in, didn't you? Can support one not being an MP but can't support the other and using it as a bullshit excuse. Fucking ridiculous. And finally, with that disgraceful behaviour of the security guards, with the poor homeless guy just trying to get a bit of kip, he wasn't hurting anybody, and he gets basically a bucket of water dumped on him and attacked with a mop. Now, in fairness, McDonald's have removed the security people from the business, although they were a third party, as we know what they're like, and most of them are just immigrants that have been handed an SIA badge and sent out to work. But I seem to remember, who was it? Might have been Cycling Mikey. He got attacked with a bottle of water in London. Got water squirted at him in his face, just from a drinking bottle, and the guy was prosecuted. Police raided him at 6 o'clock in the morning, nicked him for assault, and he was fined. I want to see the same happen here, because that was an actual assault. Just think of that. Right, I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. Obviously, I will be keeping an eye out tonight to see what goes on with this voting, and report that back in the morning. But welcome to the new subs. Thank you for joining us. The numbers haven't showed up on here, but I have had notifications that you joined. Everybody else, please check your sub status, because YouTube are unsubbing people. I don't get an alerts for any comments anymore, and I very rarely get alerts for people's videos. I have to go looking for them. So YouTube are on the prowl again, the faceless cowards. Alright guys, as always, until tomorrow, stay safe, stay strong, and stay free from all the fear they're starting to spread now. Eco, lurgies, everything. They're throwing everything at us, trying to make us live in fear. I ain't. Fuck you lot. Respects, guys.